All right, what's going on, guys? Edward here, back with another video. Thank you so much for being here again. So today I wanted to do like a little Q&A, answering some questions I got on my Instagram, and I'll show you a little bit more about me. I'll talk about basically in the country that I'm leaving, the city, and a few other things that I want you guys to know about me. Before actually we jump into the Sunday talk, right? Checking the charts and everything. So I just wanted to go right quick, since I am still a little sick. I'm still having my throat in pain, a lot of pain. I've been sick for the last couple of days, and the family as well. So hoping it's not the virus, So this is it. I we're just gonna start with Matthew right here. He was asking, how accurate is your strategy? 60, 70, 80%. If you took 20 trades, how many trades would you lose? That is a good question. I actually I have three strategies that I normally follow. Where right now more often is just smart money. All right, order blocks. Why I decided to stick only to order blocks at the moment, unless the day is very rare, is very weird, is moving very weird, and I will just basically maybe jump into another strategy, because if I'm not seeing something on this strategy, right, the setup is not showing, I might actually go into the other strategy just to see if I can try that one, right? So but let's say, for example, order blocks. Order blocks is not my method, and it's not a method that I created. This method is out there, all right? It already exists. My strategy is the TP strategy, the ones that I created, and another strategy which is with I use a 20 simple moving average. That is basically it. Just simple price action, breakout, retest, continuation, right? How effective they are, I would say between 70. Yeah, maybe 70 to 75, 80% accuracy, but there's a lot of things to it, because a lot of things that you have to have in mind is that you cannot just be trading the same strategy in every single time frame, right? You cannot expect the same results in Asian session, London session, New York session, right? So you have to know exactly when to use it, what is the best time frame to use the strategy, because if you go in Asian session, normally Asian session, it sucks, right? It normally goes sideways. There's no much volume in the market, so things can get slow. You can get trapped in a very long consolidation, so you don't want that, right? So you have to understand that there are a lot more things that 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 makes a strategy actually more profitable, or the rate of the strategy goes up or down depending, right? If you're trading, for example, when the NFP is going out, right? The NFP or the CPI report, right? Those days are very strong. Like normally we have a lot of volatility whenever that day, those news will be coming out, right? So literally means that we're kind of gambling. Those days we're kind of gambling, because it's like 50-50 chance. There's no matter if you have an 80% accuracy strategy, if you're trading on a news day, for example, the CPI or the NFP, that will reduce the size to maybe a 50-50 chance. So 50% win, 50% losing, right? Because sometimes you don't know. Sometimes it's so weird that you can have, the report is actually good, right? The numbers are good, but the market will react totally the opposite. It will go down, the market will crash, and then maybe push up on the next day. So things can get very, very volatile. And of course, if you have even a 90% accurate accuracy strategy, by the time you're gonna be trading on a news day like a CPI or NFP, that's a 50-50 chance, man. Literally, it's a 50-50 chance. So this rate will change depending on what time frame you are trading, and what day, if there's some type of news, big news. If I take 20 trades what I like about order blocks, for example, is that huge risk to reward. I don't care even if I lose 3 trades. Sometimes I can lose 3 trades, 4 trades in a row, right? If the market is very choppy, very indecisive, I don't really care, because I just know that maybe on the next day I will get a 1 to 8, 1 to 7, 1 to 12, 1 to 20 something. You know, the risk to reward is normally huge in comparison. So I'm not concerned about that. I'm not concerned about losing 3 or 4 trades in a row. I'm always risking 2% per trade, and I'm not over risking, so that's fine to me. So with this, basically, if you do 20 trades, you know, I can lose out of the 20, I can lose, let's say, 6 or 7, right? But this is only risking just 2%. And then the other entries, I normally make not just a 1 to 2 risk to reward, as I mentioned. You can get in 1 to 8, 1 to 20. I mean, you can only take one trade with a 1 to 20 risk to reward, and that's it. You made the entire week only in one trade, right? So it's not that easy to spot a 1 to 20 risk to reward, but when you do spot it, like the more you practice this, you know, you will be seeing order blocks everywhere, and you will be able to catch a sniper entries like that, because we have done it. So next question right here, coming from a booty. I'm sorry for my pronunciation. It sucks. My English sucks. You asked a lot of questions right here. Let's start with the first one. Why did you start trading? What was the main reason for you to take it serious and not settle for a regular career? That's very simple. Now, you know, not at least myself, and I'm sure not everybody likes working for somebody. I hate it so much, working for somebody. I hate receiving orders. I don't like taking orders. I remember the first job I took. No, I didn't even take that job. Actually, I was applying to it. I had finished high school, and I needed to make a little bit of money to pay for my university, and I applied for McDonald's, to work at McDonald's right here, just close to my house. And they made me. It was like a test. Besides the interview and the curriculum and everything, they did a test, right? So they put me to work on an entire day. It was like 10 hours working in there from the morning until afternoon. No, it was like 8 or 9 hours or something like that. And I was cleaning, I was wiping the floors, I was washing dishes, like 3 hours washing and washing. I wasn't even in the kitchen. I was not cooking or anything. I was just washing everything. I was in the back room, and I was washing and washing. And I was like, man, I'm so freaking tired. At some point, I just in that day, I just wanted to quit. And I remember at the end of the afternoon, you know, when everybody left, you know, the shift was over. This manager just come in with my paper and says, sorry, you don't qualify. I was like, what? I don't qualify for just washing dishes, man? Like, really? I feel so bad. Like like, really? I don't know, man. It sucked. Like really, really. That was my first try. Then after that, I was just working at a food truck, just for a couple of days, and then I started working with my uncle. He was an insurance dealer, and thanks to him, actually, I started to build, because he was always telling me, Eduardo, you have to have ambition, okay? You have to always have a little ambition, okay? And I don't mean bad ambitions, but ambitions of, hey, I want to have this. What can I do to get to that level? Even if it's just trying to get to girls, right? Even if it's just trying to get to a girl, right? He was saying, what should I do to try to get this girl to like me? What should I do? What can I do to get there? Or let's say, even if it's just a little ambition on over the weekend. Let's say, man, I have to save some money because I want to go drink with this girl. I want to go drink with my friends. And I want to go to the beach on the weekend. So what, putting little targets and setting little targets, not, as I mentioned, maybe not buying something, not buying a car, not buying a bike. At that point was, okay, what should I do if I want to buy this cell phone? Okay, by that time, I don't even think the iPhone was still out. I mean, there was some cool phones like Nokia, some other phones, Sony. But anyways, those little target zones, little target areas, he was always talking about that. And always have ambition. Always, you gotta have a little ambition. You always gotta want something. Don't expect someone to give you something. So everything started there, and I was still working for him. He was giving me orders. He was still giving me orders, but he was all the time pushing me. He was pushing me like, Eduardo, what are you doing? Like, you got to study. Okay, I know, I get it. You have to study, right? And he was willing to pay for my university. Eduardo, you're gonna stay working with me, but you got to go to the university. I can pay you for the university. He was paying. He accepted. He offered me to pay. I was like, okay, man. Like, I really appreciate that. He died. He passed away a few years ago, and I miss him so bad. But he was always giving me good advices. He was like, I hope you're not thinking you're going to work for me forever, right? He was always saying that because he needed help, right? I was his assistant. But he was all the time putting some pressure on me. Eduardo, you got to look to see what you're going to do in the future. You're young, so you're not going to be working for me forever, right? If you want to be an insurance dealer, then you better start studying something that will lead you to that career, to that part of the career. If you want to be an insurance dealer, right? Or a great insurance dealer or something like that, right? So he was always pushing me. So, but that's the thing that started, right? I didn't know still what I was going to do. I didn't know Forex. I didn't know Forex existed at that point. I was 19 years old, 18 years old. And, a lot of things changed after that. But the main reason I like at that point, since I'm 34 right now, and I discovered Forex, by 2019 or so, and I started actually putting the hard work on 2020 on the pandemic. So I wish I could have found out about Forex, when I was 19. I would not be here. I would not have my kids, at least right now. That's the only thing I don't regret, because I love my kids. I love my wife. So I don't regret that. But I would definitely not be here. Not be here. In my country, in Venezuela, I would not be living here. I would most likely be already somewhere in, I don't know, United States or Europe or something. But that was the main thing. I didn't want it to work for anybody. Like, I wanted to do things by myself. And when I discovered about trading, I was like, man, this is it. I have to focus on this thing. And I just did. I just started focusing, and until I actually quit my job. But at that point, as I mentioned, once I learned, I was 32. I'm 34. I just turned 34 this year. So, getting old. How many accounts did you end up blowing before you started being consistently profitable? Man, if I say 10, I think I'm lying to you. If I say 10 accounts, maybe more than that. Normally accounts very small, like $200 account, $300 account, always constantly blowing accounts. But I don't, as I mentioned, I don't regret that I was blowing accounts, because I knew, I was getting money in there, but I knew that money that I would be losing is not going to affect my life right here. Like, it's not that oh my God, I have nothing to eat. I don't have money to pay the rent. I don't have money to buy soap or to buy shampoo, No, it was money that I was willing to lose, right? It's nothing that I was going to end up in the streets. Like, I'm literally, I don't know, I'm selling my house, I'm selling my car. No, it was always money that I was willing to lose, right? So, but yeah, I blew like at least 10, I don't have the count exactly, but at least 10, I would say 10 accounts blowing. After starting being profitable, at some point I was no longer in red numbers. I was like on break even. I was winning and losing, winning and losing. I was ending up the day in like literally nothing. It's like I made 7 or 6 trades in a day, and between winning and losing, I ended up the day in the middle. Like I was like in zero. I was not in negative. I was not in positive. I was like in the middle. So it took a little while in there until it started to take off, and then maybe having a little lose, and then picking up again, and then another lose, and then and so on. But it did take time. How is it juggling being a father and a trader emotionally? Yeah, that's a good question as well. You know that trading is not easy, right? And it's a very psychological job. Um, it does affect everything that is around you, affects you emotionally as well. Like if you're arguing with your wife, if you are mad at something in like inside your house, and you go to take some trades, it may affect you, right? It may affect your trades. You may miss something. You may not see what's going on. So um, what I happened to find out is that when I was starting to be profitable, I decided to actually lower the lot size, because I was starting to get a little profitable, but then I was losing, you know, like losing and going back on break even. So profitable, back on break even, profitable. So what I started to do was to lower my lot size. As soon as I started lowering my lot size, I was less stressed. And I was like all the time, like it was, meh, I don't care. I don't really care if I lose this trade or not, because it's nothing. I'm literally risking just 2%. At that point, I was not risking 2% only. I was risking more, sometimes 10, 15, 20% of my account in one single trade. So that is crazy. That's why I was feeling so frustrated. That was affecting my relationship with my family, and at the same time, messing everything up, because I was using huge lot size. So I started lowering, and I understood, okay, 2% is what I'm going to do. Let's try that. So I started doing 2%. I started to see the account going up just little by little. Like I was thinking, man, it's going to take me ages to bring this account up. But that's how we have to think, because we normally think very greedy. We're very, very greedy at the beginning, right? We want the money. What is it with this hat? We want the money right away. We just want to make the money right away, right? And it's not like that, right? Until you get to a level, you're a pro, right? And you have your account, you have $100,000 on your account. At that point, you know that you're gonna be seeing nicer profits. Always risking 2%, right? I'm sorry, but you know that at that point you're going to be making nice profits, but you have to get that account to 100,000. If you go on Instagram and you see all these guys posting this huge amount of profits, and they see, oh, I made $20,000 in a day, I made 60,000 in a day, and they don't show how much they actually have on their account, right? So you don't know exactly how big your account has to be in order to make that thing in a day, right? And and for how long that guy has been trading, right? So we only focus on the money. We only see the big numbers. Oh, $20,000, $30,000. That's why it's so attractive to people, and they just start actually buying signals, because they think they're gonna get to that level, right? That quick, and that's not true. That's not true. So it's complicated. It's definitely complicated, but it takes time. It takes time to dominate that. And but believe me, the moment you start lowering your lot size and really risking just 2% of your account, you're gonna see, oh, but 2%. I have a $100 account, and I'm trading indices. So if I have a $100 account and I want to risk only 2%, how much is that? you see how little it is. So that $100 account is too small to trade indices. It's going to be too small because I'm sure you cannot trade, even if you trade with a 0.01, you can still be risking more than 2%, right? So that's why you have to have a decent account, 300, 500, 1,000, right? To be able for your account to breathe, right? And just keep your rules as they are, right? Just you can say, okay, if I lose 3 times in a row in a day, I will stop trading. Let's see what's going on, what's happening. Is it me? I'm not focused. Maybe the market is very volatile. I don't know. But stick to your plan. Stick to your plan, and that definitely will make the difference. But that is basically it, guys. How long I've been speaking now? Just answering these couple of questions right here, just for this video. And I wanted to show then, in this case, back to the charts now. Just right quick here on this Sunday talk. We're seeing that the market is still, we're going on Nasdaq, right? Market is bearish, still bearish. Market failed, had a recent couple of fails. This was the NFP and this was the CPI report, right? You can see that the markets, they are trying to push, right? Just for a little bit, and then they start actually falling a lot faster and stronger, right? So we're seeing that, let me see, I think it was on a 4-hour. Market has recently broken this previous low right here. So we have our BOS, right, on the daily. Recently broke that. It's continued to the downside, right? On the left side right here, on Nasdaq it's a little bit more like there's not much or bigger candles. We can see that maybe this order block right here was already mitigated and the price pushed already. And maybe this one, some people would just do this, like cover just the body and ignore the wicks. I don't like you doing that. I don't like doing that too much. If it's that, of course, you can ignore this huge wick right here at the bottom and at the top. You can ignore it, but just be careful. We just have to wait and see what's going to happen. We just have to now look for a little pullback. These are BOS. The market has been creating BOS, breakup structures to the downside. So expecting, let me see, 30 minutes again, 1 hour, expecting some type of pullback. You see this aggressive buy right there? This is making me think that this is a potential demand zone, right? So what am I expecting? Maybe the price to pull back, touch, and then push up, right? At least a little bit. So I'm trying to see if we're gonna have some corrections for next week after the market being very, after the crash, right? All this crash. I want to see what's going to happen, but I think we're going to have some type of correction. If it does reach this zone, maybe the target, and this is just me talking right now, I'm not sure, but maybe the target would be above that high. So something like this, perhaps. This would be a nice 1 to 7 risk to reward if it does it, right? I'm just following this aggressive buy right there. So this is just an idea. US 30. US 30, we can see same thing. Price, it's been pull back, gotta push, gotta pull back, push, pull back, push, pull back. You see this push back, this pullback right here looked like a push now, and it broke, right? That's the change of character. This is the last BOS. Price pulling back to a potential order block right here, Let's see what's going to happen. Looks like it's reacting right now. So what do you think is going to happen? Is it really going to start pushing up now? Because it has shown now the change of character. But is it really going to push up? Because that's the thing. You know, markets are still very weak, and numbers are still bad. The numbers are still bad. Hold on. The numbers are still bad. Inflation is still there. So everything is still there. So I don't see this thing actually pushing up unless we're going to have another artificial push. So let me just clean. We are having break of a structure. Now we have a big push, aggressive buy right there. So that's another thing we have to watch. So this is our last BOS to the downside, and we have a push. This could be now our change of character, and we have our order block right here, potential order block, right? So it's kind of same thing, similar. We can wait for the price to pull back, get to the zone, and then going into a buy, maybe taking up this highs right here, that liquidity that has created above this zone. Above this highs, we have liquidity, so maybe the price will push up to wipe out these guys. So that's something I'm thinking is going to happen, or price could just simply push up to retest this breakout, this box right there, this consolidation, retest it, and then continue dropping. That's also possible. So, but understanding that we are on a daily POI, strong POI, point of interest, okay? So spotting a second OB would be nice to go on a buy. S&P, basically the same thing, guys. Oh, it's almost doing the same thing. Only thing that S&P, it's a little deeper. You see the daily order block, now it's at the bottom right here. So we can get the market to continue dropping, wiping this liquidity, and then maybe reacting here to go buying. That's basically it on the daily. All right, things can still continue melting, right? Can still continue melting because of everything that is going on. And of course, don't forget about the reports, news. I think we're gonna have some interesting reports this week. Let me actually go on this website. Today is the 18th. Oh no, this is old. No, never mind. This is old. I'm gonna look for that later, and I'll show you the updated for that one. But that is basically it, guys. So expecting pretty much for the markets to just drop a little bit more to then perhaps push up. Okay, that's basically what I'm expecting. So with that being said, that is pretty much it for the expectations for next week. It was a crazy week. It's this last couple of weeks, it's been dropping. Let's see, like this drop right here was 200. This drop right here, 238. It's crazy how much this thing has been dropping. And if I show on US 30, normally US 30 has much bigger drops. 1,400, like 1,500 pips right there. 1,600 pips. Like, come on. Huge drops. One thing that I wanted to show here is that one of my students was asking to show on the daily, like, let's see, this was on the 16th, so 16th, 15th to the 14th, and then 13th. So I'm just basically gonna go this far. That's it. Just right here. I'm just separating the days, right? And you can see which days consolidate. So on the on the 13th, the market pushed up a little bit. This is the crash we had on the 13th. This is the CPI report. It was totally bearish. Then on the 14th, the market just moved in range. right? You can do this just to back test, just to go in the past and just keep back testing to understand what the market has been doing for the last couple of days. Okay, last maybe the entire week. So this was Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. So Monday was kind of like still going bullish, a little bullish as well on the Tuesday. CPI report coming out, boom, melting that thing. So this is basically how you can just follow by day, right? Just cover the entire day and just see what's happening, just to have an idea. Okay, this day was very messy. Like you see, it didn't move. Even from here, the market was already going sideways, 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 sideways. And this day actually broke to the downside and then started doing this little, look at the size of these little candles. There's nothing right here. There's no volume. There's nothing. The market is very indecisive. There's a lot of indecision, fear, a lot of things. Look at the size of the candles. Very, very little. To start moving more actually is in New York session. So these blue zones that I'm marking up right here, this is New York session. So normally the volume will come in inside these zones, right? But that is basically it, guys. So that is basically it for this video, guys. Again, if you have questions, if you have doubts, if you want to know a little bit more about me and from where I come from, which I'm just gonna show you here. In my country is Venezuela. This is where I live in South America, right? We're located here. This is Brazil, Venezuela, Colombia. So I was living here. I was living in Colombia for 4.5 years, and I recently moved back to my country this year. So this is the president. I don't want to talk too much about the president. This is basically it. No, this is actually the biggest waterfall in the world. It's huge. You can actually Google it. It's called like this, and you can just Google it. There are a few documentaries about this famous Salto Angel. That's the name. So anyways, I don't want to take much of your time, guys. I hope it makes sense. So thanks again for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy, guys.